Welcome to the Business of School podcast, brought to you by Cole Connect. Get ready for a journey of topical insights, engaging conversations, and maybe a few aha moments from the business, finance, and technology side of schools. Cole School experts are your host, and with our guests from the world of education, we're about to embark on a learning adventure to support you in the business of your school.
As part of the TASS on Tour event in Adelaide, the Alpha School system invited Cole School experts to be part of a panel discussing the topic of managing change in schools. Along with leadership representatives from local schools, including Torrens Valley Christian School and Prince Alfred College, our COO Kenton Newall joined the conversation around the evolving world of school technology and how stakeholders should best navigate change within schools. Join TASS host Meredith Borgia as she facilitates this informative discussion.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our panel discussion on managing change in schools. Managing change is critical for any school's success, especially in an environment where technology, policies, and educational practices are continually evolving. At TASS, we've seen firsthand how these changes play out through the introduction of new technologies and processes. In recent years, we've added several new modules and functionalities designed to improve school management. Our Orbit apps have empowered schools to streamline communication and increase accessibility for both staff and parents. With our monthly software updates, we've ensured that schools remain on the cutting edge of innovation, allowing them to respond quickly to new challenges and opportunities. These developments have had a significant impact on how schools engage with their communities, manage their operations, and adapt to a rapidly changing educational landscape. Today, we have 4 experienced panelists from different areas of school management to share their insights on this topic, reflecting on the role of technology, community engagement, and strategic collaboration in managing change effectively. So let me introduce our panelists. To my left, we have Amy, local, application support officer at Torrens Valley. Amy has recently implemented the Orbit Para app and manages various software changes at the school. We also have Iani, business manager at Torrens Valley Christian School. We have Kenton Newall from Cole School Experts, who, in addition to his varied experience as a consultant working with schools in the region, he has also served as a business manager in an independent K-12 school. And finally, we have Daniel Goldsworthy, who is the ICT Services Director at Prince Alfred College. Did I get the job title right as well? Excellent. So I'd like to start by giving each panelist a minute or two to briefly introduce themselves and share their perspective on managing change in schools. Please include a brief example of a significant change initiative you've been a part of and your role in that change. So should we start with Amy?
So at Torrens Valley Christian School, we just onboarded with Parent Orbit app, which has gone very, very well. We've had an amazing team around us, and we've implemented a wonderful plan. You can put it all down on paper, and of course it's going to go perfectly to plan, as all things do in the marketing land. But it actually went very well. We onboarded with a company also called Kids, which helped with that integration from parents into TASS. And the smooth change from what we had, to what we had now, has actually been pretty seamless. The reason why that obviously went well was we engaged with a lot of, I suppose, with stakeholders, made sure everyone was aware of what was happening, but we also placed into the reasoning of why we were doing it. And that always assists and ease that stress if to change. And when people say, I like what we've got now, works perfectly fine. When you're going to change something, you need to explain why you're doing it and then step with people and do small sorts of training and snippets of training to help onboard that change. Went really well, so far going well. Have we got 100% of parents on board? No, but it is a better onboarding number of parents on an app than we had previously to our older because of the seamless integration, the ease of access, and the understanding of, it's all my hand, everything is in my head.
Hello everybody, probably most people in the room are very familiar with Cole School Experts and the finance and payroll and software consultancy we do as outsourced services. We're big users of the TASS application as well on our team, and strategic partners with the wonderful TASS people. And we're working with change in schools that's literally what we do. Most of the calls that we receive from schools from around Australia and New Zealand, we call them the crisis call. We've got a business manager, a principal unit on the phone just going, help, this is what's happened with the school. Can you your team help us out? So it's really very much what we do on a daily basis. But that change is very different, and I would say there's three very distinct areas of change that we're seeing in schools. We're definitely going through a period post-COVID of system change. I think every school we speak to at the moment is changing some sort of software solution and system, or going through that process. There's been a lot going on with new developments, like we've been hearing here from TASS and some of the change in the suppliers in the sector. We've had massive challenges from changing personnel at school. What's happened post-COVID with the whole recruitment change is affecting schools massively. We've got schools with I've got somebody leaving or starting new as they grow, or crying out because they can't find someone to fulfill a role at the moment. That's probably the most of the work we do with schools, so that's been a big change. It wasn't like that pre-COVID. It's been very stable in the sector. So, and I say some of these things just because you're probably thinking, yeah, that's exactly what's going on in our school. Your company, it's going across the sector. And the other thing that we've seen in the last few years is actually a change in operational strategy, from maybe because of these problems we've just highlighted, but from in-house staffing to outsourced services. And there's a lot more open-mindedness now about, especially in the business part of the school, of using outsourced services and to help bring in the correct skill set to add on the resources that they need, and to also bring in expertise of some of the applications that they're using. So they're the sort of trends that we're experiencing in the school sector at the moment.
That's great. Thank you. And Daniel?
Thanks. Yeah, I've been in this role for just over 6 years now. When I joined, we've been at TASS school for 16 years, so it's been pretty embedded in the school. When I joined, it was pretty clear we had issues with our learning management system. So we undertook a review with a third-party consultant. That was really comprehensive. We engaged all areas of the school and really got to that why. Why do we need this functionality? A lot of demonstrations, and thankfully in the end, the prep school and the secondary school both agreed that the preferred LMS was SEPTA, and we managed that transition with the vendor. And I think the key thing there was executive support for that project, because it was a significant change for the school, and we brought the stakeholders along on that journey.
Excellent. And if you could just hang on to that microphone. But the first question I have for you, Daniel, is technology changes are often one of the biggest disruptors in schools. How do these changes impact schools, and what are the key challenges when implementing new systems?
Look, technology change is inevitable, and I've got 10 projects that are pretty significant in terms of change at the school that we're trying to work through. Prioritising was really important, and I think having that executive support for what those priorities are and making sure people understand why we're making those changes, I think is key. There's so many things we could be doing, but it's about understanding where the most value for the school is in terms of making those changes for us in that community.
Yeah, absolutely. Kenton, I have a question for you. Just pass over. Kenton, since you work with many schools, what trends are you seeing in terms of technology adoption, and what best practices can help schools to manage this efficiently? Now, you talked to us about some trends that you're seeing kind of overall in schools, but even as farmers.
Yeah, and there are very particular trends we talked about, but I think whatever the change that's happening with your technology, it's the approach to doing that effectively is pretty much very similar, and that's really making sure that you've got a digital transformation journey mapped out. The roadmap is so super important, and so we're trying to advise schools to, first of all, to go through an assessment process of really looking at what their ecosystem is, what are the objectives, what are the return on investments they're looking for. then to build a strategy of what that looks like, what is your communication plan with all of your stakeholders, who are the relevant providers that you need to do. Then really have a good plan about what your implementation process is, what that looks like, what training you're going to require within the timeline. But it doesn't stop there. This is an ongoing cycle. So to make sure that there's always a review, that you'll continue to look at your ecosystem, look where that's going, always make sure your stakeholders are giving you updates on what your objectives and requirements are, so that this becomes a part of your operational culture within the school as your digital transformation roadmap.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, from a financial perspective, how do you manage the costs associated with tech upgrades or infrastructure changes? And Amy, you recently implemented the Orbit thing, but you talked about it a little bit in your introduction. Can you tell us about how you managed this change to user behavior and adoption, what the challenges were, and how you engaged staff, parents, and students in the process of being too?
Yeah, sure. So with Orbit, we'll start with the parent community. When we first started onboarding with Orbit, I'm looking at Josh, our IT manager, and also Steve, who are also work, so they know what we're talking about, in the sense that we started from the very beginning and made our plan. And that plan was from the very beginning of probably say let's go terms, term 1, week 1, and we started to jot down in each week leading up to the actual launch of our parent Orbit app, and then consecutive weeks after what that actually looks like. In the months all of that, probably one of the biggest things was the communication to our parents and what that looked like. So how do we tell parents, there's a change coming, don't freak out, we're all going to be okay, we're going to walk through with this with you. And so we started to jot that in. We've got an awesome marketing team who then came in and said, well, this is what that's going to look like. Do we need videos? Do we need pictures? Do we just need an email? All emails parents just love emails. So how could that go away from email communication to our parents, and how can we get it in front of them going, this is happening, we need you on board, because it's going to be great. And so we started to slot that in. And so when you start to see the whole plan come together from the very beginning, even though it was way off of the launch day to the very end, it's a beautiful story that's, this is actually going to work. What we also allowed for was what is called the great drop-off. You can start and scale your plan, and it's this mountain in front of you when you've got everything implemented at the very top pinnacle, where you're going to launch the app and it's going to be fantastic and everyone's just going to get on board, it's going to be great. But then there's this drop-off where the excitement's finished and the communication's dizzled, and we don't have all our parents on, or maybe all of our staff still don't know what's going on, and that's okay, and that happens. If we're part-timers, you've got people who are coming and going. Put a place then and manage that part. That's called the great drop-off, where if you don't put your finger on that part, you're going to lose the momentum of this amazing product. You've just purchased it and spent a lot of time at getting on board. So allow for that drop-off space when we'll implement. As far as the stress then with our staff, good old stress and schools, because schools run at 110%, and no one is sitting idle in their position. I haven't seen anyone not do or nothing at the school. We're always multi-managing and running hard and fast. When you say we're going to make a change and it's going to be great, you just see their eyes roll back and get a little bit classy, because stress is part of it. And so how do you implement and manage stress of a change like Orbiter? It's snippets of information there for staff, in particular teaching staff. I think many of you would know that teachers it's not just teaching anymore. It's Australian curriculum, it's parent management, it's student management, it's behaviour policies, it's welfare checks, it's all the other stuff that goes within the lab teaching. Put that in this, and then, by the way, I'm going to add a challenge, it's stress. And so what we've started to do, and what we're hanging to hope you do at Torrens Valley, is a bit more of that short snippet training. Trying to say it's 5 minutes, bite-sized stuff, put some humour into it, make it go, it's okay, it's not major. That's really useful to me. I love it, let's do it. And like Diane was saying, that change, if you can get people on board and going, that's really great, that lessens that stress. Can you hold their hand all the way going, it's okay, come talk to me anytime, let's fix it. And let me embarrassment of not knowing what to do, be gone. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, I love that. I love the flex size. Nice training. I have a couple more questions on finance and budgeting. So, Daniel, how does IT planning intersect with budgeting, and what strategies help align technological change with financial constraints?
Oh, that's a good one. I think The IT budget is one of the biggest budgets of the school, and the work I do with our school business manager revolves around the kind of large capital projects and operational expenditure. We have a bit of a roadmap for the server refresh, access points, laptops, all those types of things. And then software transition is another one that has been harder to get over the line. But also bound that fall, I guess, is for one of those. I can give a score about what I like to do for new software. I guess is always a bit easy for Steve to go and find money for that.
Great. Kenton, what strategies do you see working across schools to balance innovation with financial sustainability?
Yeah, good question. And the answer sounds simple, but it's really not. And the first bit is know your budget. And we've got a budget. But you know how many schools we work with that don't have long-term forecasting? So your digital transformation roadmap is a long-term project and strategy. And so you need to know how that relates to your long-term financing. And so, yeah, you need long-term finance forecast, you need a digital roadmap. Those two need to go together. And just look out and make sure that you've got everything included in it. The number of times we've done projects with schools and we then discover the hidden costs. Really work closely with your software provider to ensure you're capturing everything that's involved in the project. And the other thing that's related to that with the finance area and the digital transformation implementation is don't digitalize the back process. Make sure you take the opportunity to review your FIs and efficiency effectiveness of
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Thank you. Yanni, I've got a big question for you in the financial topic. How do you manage the financial implications of major change, like curriculum updates or facility expansion, while maintaining the school's financial health?
Actually, it sounds like simple, but it is budget, and as Kenton mentioned, that 10-year plan going forward. And so we look at our budgets. Also, for that place states that your school master plan, or your master plan. So all those strategies in the master plans must be feasible for 10-year budget. And then the big thing there is your cash flow. Make sure that you can afford both those things. And as you said, except for major building projects, the IT budget is by far the biggest budget that you have to look at. And we have a IT e-plan strategy at the school. How we roll out our laptops to a senior school, middle school, primary school, and iPads to the junior primary school. So every year that's in the planning, in the budget for the next 10 years for that annual rollout. Of course, in the every 5 years to basically the early printers, and every other year, third year, access points, and so all of those. So my capital budget is quite a few lines just for IT purposes. And yes, you have to make sure that you got your budget for those items, and make sure that you get the cash flow at the end of the day to fund all those nice things. Yeah. And as you know, as the biggest miss in the school is staffing budget. So make sure that your FTEs are at a affordable level.
Okay. Good advice. Thank you. We'll move on to our last topic, which is people and processes and change. So, Amy, when introducing new software or applications, how do you manage the impact on people and processes in the school? What strategies do you use to ensure staff adapt to these changes smoothly? Now, you touched on some of this before in your previous answer. I'd love to hear a bit more detail about kind of I don't know if you used the change methodology, but the process that you went through.
Well, first off was obviously we announced in the staff being lock the back doors. Was there any news? Go for it. Jump on in. And everyone gnashes and screams at Harlems. What we actually do is, like we said before, we're putting a plan in a right. But I think it's something that we probably need to change behaviour. We've certainly started that, but we need to get into our heads that IT, like Anna was just saying, is one of the biggest parts of a school. And so in that, our knowledge of our IT and our training on our IT is also a very big part of our staff. Going right down to when Microsoft changes the look of their email outlook, or how do I open a Word document now? Why is it not saving? Why is it not saving? The blue cloud's on, the blue cloud's on. You know, and it's just, what is the blue cloud? For people coming through work environments, there is actually no place where you get told how to run through Microsoft, or how do you actually sit down and run TASS, whether you start them becomes on, do we do a whole week of onboarding on how we run our programs? No, because there is not that time allocation. I think we need to change our behaviour in allocating that time to staff training. Even like I said, there's those short snippets of time and elements of training to relieve that stress of change. Go, I've got this, it's okay, it's not going to be hard. We've onboarded with TASS, we've onboarded with Canvas in my years at that school, and part of that was getting us a few key staff, like Yanni has said, and train them and making them their go-to people, because not one person can be someone for, you know, a staff of 100, that's unmanageable. But if you get key people in with their knowledge and build that and onboard them with their confidence. Yeah, really well. Excellent. It's great to be. Thank you.
Yanni, how do you manage staff expectations and morale during financial restructuring or changes in schools' operational processes?
I think this year might be a good example for us at Dorm Study, that we brought in new processes and changes in expectations to setting budgets and so forth. And I think at the end of the day, if they can see it's better for them, it's easy. And if they can arm it up to somebody else, it's even better. So, for example, but it's confidentially in here, is that we set occasion budget. Instead of we will go to the DPTs, this is no of the budget, and with your staff, you allocate your budget, and you control your budget. It's up to you. So, this is a process we suggest that you use to control your budget, and so sometimes the staff actually to be quite happily adopt to that new process.
So you empower them to.
Yeah, and so talk to your line manager. They control that budget. So, and this the purchase order system we launched this year as well. So it takes some time and to get it off the ground, but as you say, again, a few key staff members using it and showing how easy it is actually to use it, because it's just a mindset. It's not on that sort of paper that you complete. It's the staff kiosk and getting there. Once you know it's easy to use and straightforward, it's easy.
Yeah, excellent, thank you. Kenton, what are the most common resistance points from staff or leadership when schools undergo change?
I agree with a lot of what Annie said early on. The biggest factor in this is communication. It's about bringing people on the journey with you, not dragging them. And because naturally, there's always a resistance to change. People feel threatened, and that happens all the time in schools with even the smallest of application or procedure changes. So your communication plan is a massive part of our digital transformation roadmap, and to really have to think about who is your project lead on that, who's going to be managing the culture change, and who are all the stakeholders that need to be that are affected by this change, and have you communicated with them, and are they understanding the need for the change, where it's going, what the story is, and what the expectation is at the end of it. So communication is the most critical thing.
Excellent. Brilliant, guys. Thank you. And Daniel, what approaches work best to engage the staff and ensure a smooth transition when implementing new technology or systems?
I think having a variety of approaches of after development of staff, some online resources, face-to-face hands-on sessions, and just getting them the choice to engage in the way that they could have felt most comfortable with. That's what we've got about the most success with.
Excellent. Great. Well, thank you for all those insightful answers.
And that's a wrap for this episode of the Business of School podcast. We've enjoyed the conversation today and would love to have you join us for future episodes. Please hit the subscribe button and follow the links below to find more information and resources to support you and your school team. Until next time, keep being innovative, keep being awesome, and remember, there is always opportunity to improve on the journey. Thanks for connecting.